Welcome to the Real Estate Tech Show, where two of the nation's top experts on real estate share with you their favorite tech tools, tips, and tricks to help you explode your real estate business in productivity and profits. So get strapped in, because Cory and Joe are about to lead you behind the curtain of the most relevant and effective real estate investing tools and strategies on the planet, starting right now.
What's up, Joe McCall?
Cory Boatwright, what's going on, man?
What's going on? I am pumped, man. We are going to talk about Evernote today, right? As a CRM, you have one of your students using that as, to run their business. They're getting all their leads to there.
Yeah, that's the craziest thing. We'll talk about this, but using Evernote as a CRM. We'll talk about that. But first, if you want our top 10 favorite tools, tech tools, text the word tech, T-E-C-H, to 38470, 38470. You get a PDF, a couple pages of Cory's favorite tools, my favorite tools. It's really valuable, super simple, easy to go through. Or just go to realestatetechshow.com, realestatetechshow.com, and get it for free. Absolutely free.
The price is right? Get it for free.
If you don't like it, we'll give you your money back.
Right.
That's an old joke.
That's an old joke. It's still good though. So one thing that we forget to do is Mr. Joe McCall is on the other end there. I'm Cory Boatwright. We run a real estate business, and we use technology to go ahead and help things be more efficient. And actually, I was going through this book called Good to Great. I know you've heard of it. You probably read it, Joe. Jim Collins.
Good.
Yeah, and he talks about technology as an accelerator, right? Technology accelerator. And so many people rely on technology as the end all to run everything for them. And we're not telling you to do that. We run different businesses. I do about 100 wholesale deals a year. Joe and I both have coaching businesses. Joe does deals with his students and has his own business as well. And this is what we do every day. And because we do things mobily, we do things virtually, we use technology to run a big part of the business. But it's not the foundation. I want to make sure that you understand that this is an accelerator. So, I think it's easy sometimes, Joe, we get going here, we forget to even introduce ourselves. So the great Joe McCall, also known as Podio Joe, for those that known Joe for a long time. But we're not talking about Podio today. We're talking about Evernote. And have you used it before?
I love Evernote. I use it all the time.
I do too.
How many notes do you have right now, Cory?
I have, you have more than me. I think I have, I don't know, probably around 1,200.
I have 28 notebooks.
Yep.
And you know what? It doesn't tell me on Evernote on the desktop, but it tells you on the phone. But let me give you a little history of why. You know what? This is super important because everybody's just dying to know how many notes we have, right? 3,344, baby.
Woo!
I have 3,344 notes in Evernote.
That's a lot.
And
so it's safe to say that you rely on Evernote, right? Why don't you talk about why you rely on it for your own kind of personal and for business, but then also we can roll into about the CRM.
Well, it's like a diary for me, man. Anytime I get an idea, I find something that's cool that I want to remember later, I'll put it in Evernote. Sometimes I'll just add on to an existing note, or sometimes I'll create a new note. Like the other day, somebody emailed me something really cool. It was a PDF. And so Evernote gives you a unique email address. And so I'll email something to that email address, and it'll create a new note in Evernote for me, right?
Yes.
So it was something cool that I knew I wanted to. I couldn't look at right now, but it would be a good, valuable resource for later. I emailed it to my Evernote, and there, if you look at it, I can see the email and the attachments that were in there, and it's just amazing. And it's all synced in the cloud, so I can get it from my phone, my tablet, my laptop, my wife's computer, anywhere in the world. I can access this stuff in Evernote. So,
do you pay a lot for Evernote, Joe?
I do pay for some premium subscription. I don't even know what it is. What is it, like $20 a year or something?
So yeah, pretty inexpensive to be able to have all the convenience that you have using that tool.
I don't know how much it costs, but it's worth it. I would pay $100 a month for Evernote.
Wow, that's pretty.
Maybe not, because there would probably be something else. Okay, here it is. I'm paying $70 a year.
Wow,
$70 a year.
It's incredible. I mean, you talk about these. Here's the thing: when people hear about technology tools, they first think about what's it cost, right? Yeah. And the second thing is, why do I need it, right? It isn't why do I need it, and then what's it cost. So here's what you have to change your mindset to be effective and be as efficient as possible and actually gain the edge, because a lot of folks don't have this kind of mentality. You have to change the way you think. It isn't what it costs first and then why do I need it? You need to ask yourself, why do I need it first? What's it going to do to help my life be more efficient, get more deals done because I gain the edge? You know, is it going to give me other opportunities for, connections that I don't normally have right now? Can I integrate it with other tools, which we're going to talk about with this one? And then from there, you can say, what's that worth? What's that worth to me, right? Yeah. And for many of the wholesalers that I know, Joe, I know when you talk to students the same way, they don't know what things are worth. Yeah. How much does the lead cost you? I don't know. How much did you make on the last deal? Well, I know kind of, but how much was your net? I don't really know. How much? So they don't know, right? And so some of the reasons that we talk about these tools is because we're lazy generally as entrepreneurs, right? And these tools allow us to create organization and structure in a way where you don't have to think about it, right? Joe has something that comes in. I have something that comes in. I can throw it into Evernote. I can throw an image in there. I can throw a video in there. I can share it with someone else. Yeah. I mean, there's some really cool things that you can do with Evernote, right, Joe?
It's an amazing tool. And, I remember when I was first learning about real estate, Cory, I was my coach at the time. I bought a course, and he said, you need to have a database. And I fought that tooth and nail. I thought, I don't need a database. If they don't want to do a deal now, then screw them, Why would I want to keep a list of customers that don't want to sell their house to me? Why would I want to keep a database of buyers? And I just didn't get it. So I thought I was smarter than my coach. I thought I could just Starbucks coffee.
Yep.
So I thought I knew better, right? So I didn't pay attention to them. And it wasn't until, sure enough, I would do marketing and I get a bunch of leads, and all of a sudden I'm buried in Post-it notes and yellow pads of paper, and my leads aren't getting followed up with. I talk to a seller 2 days later, and they say, well, you didn't send me that thing you said. And then I was like, who are you again? And I was just so messed up. Well,
no structure.
Right. And so I just started with Google Sheets, I think it was, or Excel spreadsheet or something, to start managing my leads. In fact, actually, it was a tool called Smartsheet that I started using. Smartsheet is like an online spreadsheet software like Google Sheets, but it allows you to attach records, attach files to each row of data, and allows you to set up reminders and tasks to each of those line items. But anyway, so I started realizing pretty quickly, as I just started doing more and more deals, that I have to have a database, something. Right. And the problem now, though, is, Cory, so many people complicate this. Yes. And they think that the CRM has to do everything, right? So they spend hours and hours and hours trying to get the CRM to save them a few seconds. Right. And it's important to keep it simple, to go back to the basics, step aside, step away from the computer sometimes, right? And say, all right, what is really important? Do I need to have 30 different questions of 30 possible different scenarios? And do I need it to click a button and do all these fancy things afterwards? Well, I don't know. I don't think you do. If you just had a simple CRM that just lets you track the name, phone number, email, address of the house, mailing address maybe, and then notes, and then tasks.
Keep it simple.
That's it, right?
Keep it simple, right? And you can always add on to things as you grow. Right. Sometimes people go, I'm not going to do that because it doesn't do X, Y, and Z for me. So what you got to do is you've got to start somewhere. Right. I know folks are like, they wait till like the perfect tool exists, right? Well, it doesn't have a contract generator in it, so I don't want to do that. It doesn't talk to my title company. I don't want to do, I mean, like you're waiting for the perfect tool to exist. And meantime, a year or two goes by, everyone passes you and you're still in the same place.
Right. Some of the most poor wholesalers and investors are the CRM experts. Right?
That's so true. That is so true.
They've got the best CRM that does all this fancy stuff to them. They got all these integrations, but they don't ever even use it because it doesn't matter if you're not in front of sellers and buyers and you're talking to people. So I had an acquisitions manager. His name is Rick. And I'll never forget this. I posted some ads on Craigslist, got a bunch of people that applied, and this guy was really persistent. I liked him. And sat down and had coffee with him. We had a lot of the same values, and he was really good with people. He was a great people person. But one of the things I appreciated about him was that real simple guy. So I hired him and I trained him, and we started doing deals together. We started doing a lot of deals actually. And to make a long story short, we actually parted ways. We parted ways as friends, and he went to continue with real estate investing with, and we had a strategy where we were focusing on finding the buyers first. He went and got his real estate license, and then I started bringing deals to him because he had such good buyers. But anyway, we parted ways, and it's been about 3 or 4 years now, and for the last 3 years he's been averaging close to 100 deals a year, doing about 7 to 8 deals a month. He has a real simple business, nothing complicated. It's just his phone and his laptop. That's all he has. His wife helps him out a little bit. But you know what he uses as his CRM? Evernote.
Wow.
He uses Evernote. And so I've spent some time talking with him, and I even did a podcast with him about it a few years ago at realestateinvestingmastery.com. If you just go there and do a search for Rick, you'll see the podcast I did with him.
We'll put that in the show notes too.
Do a search for Evernote at realestateinvestingmastery.com, and you'll hear this interview I did with him. And so Cory and I were talking, and I said, let's do a podcast about how to use Evernote as a CRM because it's super simple. It really, really is. Now, the other thing I'd say is if you are not familiar with what Evernote is, go to the YouTube. It's this little, not too many people know about it, and just do a search for how to use Evernote in YouTube, and you will find a gazillion videos in there on how to use it. So,
well, let me add to that. Once you do that, because there's a gazillion videos, what you want to do is click a little button or a little dot or something called a filter. At YouTube, you look at relevance, or you look at the number of views, and the one that's probably the most important is date. You want to look at the most recent one
that has a lot of views.
So because that'll cut down your fat.
Yeah. So. And YouTube actually does a pretty good job of that. They'll put at the top of the list.
They will, right?
The best videos most of the time. So just start going through that, and you'll find some good videos. In fact, do this: go to YouTube and do a search for Evernote CRM, and you'll find a bunch of videos in there that teach this. So we're going to walk through this with you right now to show you how simple it really is. And I'm going to share my screen with you here.
Yeah, let me go ahead and switch it over to you.
I'm going to do local.
I'm going to do remote. So there you go.
And I don't know which local screen it's recording of mine, but I'm going to share my screen with you here. Share screen. Boom. Boom. All right, so I'm sharing my screen. Do you see that, Cory?
Let's see here. 1 second. I do.
Nice. Okay, so this is Evernote. And I created a new notebook that's called Real Estate Tech Show Podcast because I don't want to share. I have so many personal notes in here. It's like showing you my diary, right? And hopefully somebody's not listening to this who's a hacker who lives in Russia.
We want to see your diary. We want to see your diary, Joe. We want to see what you're wearing. What are you wearing, Joe?
No. Listen. Shut up.
That sounded really creepy.
That was weird.
All right.
Okay, so this is Evernote, right? So you have over here your notes, notebook, and tags. And inside of a notebook, which I created called Real Estate Tech Show, I have a note, and this is one note I have here. I just called it test note.
Okay.
But let's talk about kind of how you would structure this. The first thing is you would need notebooks. And the cool thing about Evernote is you can have like master notebooks and sub notebooks underneath that. Okay, so
over on the left-hand side, you see one of your icons, right, for notebooks.
Yeah, right there.
Okay.
So you can have master notebooks and then sub notebooks under that. So you could have a notebook for personal and then a notebook for business. And then underneath your business notebook, you could have sub notebooks under that. They call it, in Evernote, they call it stacking. You can stack notebooks, I believe.
Yeah, you could have like, in your personal, you could have family, right? If you wanted to, you could have vacations, you get whatever, right?
So I want to have different notebooks for, let's say, seller leads, buyer leads, lenders, my networking contacts, for example. So when a new lead comes in, I want to create a note underneath the seller leads notebook. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So some sample notebooks you could have would be seller leads, buyer leads, private lenders, networking, maybe. I don't even know if you need that, but maybe let's say you did. And then you could have a notebook called properties. All right. And under properties, you have different notebooks under that for like under contract or sold. Maybe.
So all these other notebooks are really statuses.
No, because I would for status, I would
like under
use
contract.
tags.
I mean, that's status, right? For
Under
the property.
yeah, okay, yeah. But we'll get to this in a minute. But you can also use tags inside of Evernote for maybe your statuses, right?
For statuses on okay.
So I would make each note either a seller lead, like a seller's name, or a property. But the cool thing about Evernote is that it's completely flexible, right? You can do it any way you want. You're not forced to fit into somebody else's box. And as you just start playing around with it, you will learn what works for you and what doesn't. Don't worry about trying to get it all figured out first up front. Just start playing with it and start digging into it, and you'll figure it out as you go, like, oh, this makes more sense to do this kind of folder notebook structure or whatnot. So let me continue on this then. So let's say you have a notebook for seller leads, all right? And a new lead comes in. Well, you just create a new note, right? And for the new note, you're going to give the seller's name.
Right.
And that's going to be the name of the note. And then inside of there, you can create tags. You can have a tag for maybe new lead, hot lead, warm, cold, whatever. You could also have a tag for certain areas of the, like if you have a North County, South County, West County, or whatever. Or maybe, depending on how you're doing it, maybe zip codes or whatnot.
Right.
So you could have as many tags as you want. The cool thing about the tags is you could say, all right, in seller leads, show me all of the cold tags. And it shows you all the colds. All right, so then what's important is to have one master note that's kind of like a template, okay? So you could create a new note, and I'll create a new note right here. And I'm going to call this master template new seller lead, okay? And you could say, what are the things you want to track in every new lead that comes in? Maybe name is one, right?
Right.
Phone, email, address of property, okay, et cetera, et cetera. And then maybe you have questions you want to ask. So I'm going to make that bold. And I'll do bullets here, okay? So like, what's your situation? So this could be your seller script, right?
Yes.
What would you like to see happen? How quickly would you like to sell? Maybe that's your stuff, right? And that's it. That's your template. So when a new lead comes in, all right, you're just going to take this, and you could do a couple things. You could like highlight the whole thing and copy and paste it into a new note.
Yes.
Or you can right click on the note, and you click on copy, and you copy that note into a different notebook, right?
Yes.
So now you have this new lead. You change the title to Susie Jones 123 Main Street or whatever, okay? That's the title of this new seller lead. You give it a name. You give it, her name is Susie Jones. You put the phone number in here. You put the email. Now, I know what some of you are saying is like, but I can't send them an email from here. Yeah, right, you can't. But guess what? This guy that I'm talking about, Rick, does close to 100 deals a year. He uses Evernote. Doesn't have anything fancy. It's not like he can send emails from here. So he can't create a contract from here.
Well, you can actually send an email from there, but you have to share the note.
So you could share this note with your title company. You
right.
Can send a link of this note, which has all this information. But what
can we talk about this too, Joe? Is one of the benefits of Evernote, right? Because I'm always looking at what's different. There's a lot of this is really a to-do kind of client resource, right? It's not really specifically designed to be a CRM. You can do, like you say, you can do whatever you want with it. It's flexible. But one of the things that's different about Evernote is what you have is a link that each one of these notebooks or notes that are in Evernote, you can either share your notebook or you can share your note. I believe you can share both, and it gives you a link. So do you want to just talk about that really quickly? Because I think that's important. Anybody can click on that link and then they can see not only what you have there, which is now you're typing in the WYSIWYG editor. You're using the checklist option that they have for checkboxes. But you can go in and you can link this. It gives you a link and you can look at it online.
So right here, I can share this note with somebody. I can also do what's called chat. If I click on new chat, I can actually share this note live with somebody else in their Evernote account. But if I just wanted to, I could click copy public link.
Yep. Go ahead and do that. Go ahead and do that, Joe, and then open up a new browser so you can show people. I think that's a powerful thing about Evernote.
All right, hold on one here. I'm gonna.
So you copied that.
I copied that, and I'm gonna paste that link right here into Evernote.
Yep.
Into Google Chrome, and here's the note.
There you go. That's live right now. Yeah. So if Joe starts typing, here's what's interesting. Go back to your note, Joe. Now start put in another task there and just put, hello, how are, all that. Okay. Now go ahead and sync it.
It's syncing right there in the upper left, and then I go here to Chrome and I'm going to refresh this page, and there you go. Stuff that I just typed in.
Everything is right there. That's what's powerful about this. So imagine what you could do with Evernote now that you have one link that you can change on the fly and not have to worry about sending somebody else another link, anything else. It's all in this one Evernote. I think that's really different about this tool, Joe.
Well, the other cool thing is you can start attaching pictures. I should have done this in advance. I can start it. I can do. Let me just get a picture of a house real quick here. And I sometimes will just take pictures from Zillow. I'm going to save this image.
So you'll actually take the image. You won't just take the link?
Well, yeah, I could take the link too, right?
Right.
And so here in Evernote.
Uses less of your storage. That's all.
I could call this Zillow link. I'll paste that link here. But I can also go up here to attach right here. And I can attach anything I want. So here's this picture.
Yep.
I can attach the picture. I can go in and I can attach the contracts, any inspection reports. I can attach that stuff from Google Drive or anything like that, right?
Right. It integrates with Google Drive and Dropbox, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
So let's say I have a spreadsheet, for whatever reason. I can attach the spreadsheet right there in the bottom. Now, this is my record. Now, I could change the tags. I can move it to a different notebook if I want. Let's say I get this property under contract. Well, I could move it to my notebook called under contract.
Yes.
And then I could, copy and paste maybe a new set of tasks or things that need to be done. And at the end of the day, then you look at this and you can see just by moving these notes around into different notebooks what's going on in your business. And the final thing I'll share here with you is that you can set reminders. So if there is something that you need to do or something that you need to follow up with in a week on this particular seller lead, you just click on this reminders button and you can add a reminder on a certain date, on the 20th or whatever, about this note. So now you've got this list of things, and on the 20th, I'm going to get a reminder that's going to pop up in Evernote, and I go into my Evernote and I can see from my list of tasks or things to do what it is that I need to do. So I could write up a task here like follow up and send proposal. So it's very simple. It's very flexible. It doesn't have the bells and whistles that you're going to get in a typical sales CRM, but
like Podio, like we use Podio quite a bit. Yep.
But it does everything that you have to have it to do. So if you need to send an email out, well, just copy this email address, copy Command C or Control C, go to your email application and send the email from there. If you need to create a contract, go into your computer into an old contract, save it under a new name, and just copy and paste the information in there, and then attach that new contract into this Evernote. But the idea is you want all of your information over here into one place. And let me just talk to you real quickly here about tags.
Wait, can we do that? Can we do this?
Yeah, do what?
Oh, it died.
That was easy.
Wait, no, it didn't. Can you hear it, Joe?
Oh,
That was easy.
that was easy. I like that
That
button.
was easy.
All right, all
That
right.
was easy.
Look at this. You can have tags, right? So you can have a tag for different statuses or stages of the leads: hot, new, warm, cold.
Wait,
whatever.
Joe, could show where the tags are. I think that's some people have heard of tags. Some
right
people
here.
haven't
So
heard of tags.
I could create a tag called hot. If I have another tag, like if I have a tag called important, and once I start typing in important, it brings up all of my tags that have IM.
And can you show where they would do that? So if you put in important there, right,
here
or
at the top,
put in
yeah.
hot, yeah. So you put in a tag. So a tag is a bookmark essentially.
Yeah.
It's a way to identify a piece of information that you only want to basically think of tags as a way to filter. So now if you put that important or hot, like go ahead or put in some other tag,
Well, now I
and
have
then
two
go
tags
up
in
there
here.
to the search, Joe, and show them how to do it.
Well, if I don't want to do this because you'll see all of my tags and all of my personal
Oh,
stuff.
I got you. Okay, all right.
So if I clicked on tags and I go to search and I could say, show me all of the leads that have a cold tag,
Yes.
it will bring them all in and show it, which is amazing. It's
Amazing. Yeah.
maybe you have a tag called follow-up, which means they're in the follow-up. And so you can pull up all of the follow-ups and then look up all the ones that are like they have reminders of when things are due or whatever.
If you go up there to the corner, the top corner, right, there's a search box. This is what's
Right here.
also really powerful about Evernote. So this is where you can type in the tag to find it. So it'll go ahead and the syntax will pull in, or it'll auto complete
there.
for you often. Yep, there you
So
go.
it's looking in this notebook with all the leads that have the cold tag.
Yes, and then you can also create search templates. So you don't have to go in anymore and type it in and up there. You can actually create a search template now. If the one that you always go in, if you're always typing, cold or hot or important, you can create a search template now and click on that and it'll automatically find it for you.
And the cool thing too now is when I'm in the field, I'm in the car driving around looking at houses, I can update it right from my phone, right? And I don't have to have anything. I can just go right into Evernote, find this lead, update the information, maybe attach pictures that I took from my phone. If I got a contract signed, I can take a picture of that contract and I can scan it into Evernote and I can save it as a PDF. Okay?
I love it.
But
Love that.
let me just cover a few more things here real quick. What do you need to have inside of each of these notes or inside of each lead? Maybe a template of all the things that need to be done. You can put in contracts. You can attach emails. You can attach pictures of the house. What are the next steps? What are the reminders? Maybe you have a little thing that you have for numbers, right, where you track the buy price or the sale price or your expected profit or the expected closing date and things like that. So
Yes.
super powerful. And again, it's virtually free. There is a free version of Evernote, but if you want to do the fancier things with like maybe sharing your notes, or if you want a little bit more limit, like you can get up to 10 gigabytes a month, new 10 gigabytes every single month. You need to get it up. So it's like $70 a year. You're talking about $6 a month or $5 a month or something like that.
It's so inexpensive, right? Again, it changing the mindset of not what does it cost, it's what can it do for me,
Yeah.
right? And then what's it worth to me, right? That's the way bigger, better question as an entrepreneur to ask yourself.
So I'm going to stop sharing my screen here so we can see our pretty faces.
Well, before you do, go back there one other time.
It's too late now.
Oh my gosh, come on, switch.
All right,
Switch
hold on a
SLU.
second here. I got to
There you
change
go.
my
There you go.
recorder
No,
to-
you're good. You're good. So at the very top, one other thing on the search tags, right?
Uh-huh.
When you're creating a search tag, you can actually create the search template. What I was mentioning before, but the purpose of that is you can create multiple tags. So let's say that I have Putnam City, and I only want to look at hot properties in Putnam City.
Yeah.
I can put multiple tags into a search template or a tag template, if you will, and it'll create that, and you can save it. So I just wanted to mention that there because that's worth mentioning.
Right. Yeah, there's see the saved searches right here. It's like
Yes.
a filter, a saved filter. You can say, all right, show me all the Putnam City tags, leads, and that are also, I type in cold.
Yes.
Okay. And the cool thing too about this, let's say a seller calls you up and she's, and you see her number there, and her number is 353. So you could type in to search 353, and it brings in all of your notes that have the number 353 in it. And if I know a number is 353-6666, it brings up all the notes that have that thing in there. So it makes it super easy and quick to find that house or to find that seller.
Did you buy a house from the devil?
No. I did not. If it was 666, I would have, but it's 4 6s.
Oh, all right. Technicality, Joe. Technicality.
So it's
right.
important. You got to have something where you can store stuff, right?
Right.
And it's super customizable. Anything that you want to track, you can, and it's here.
I love it. And you can share. You talk about that a little bit more. You can actually share the link with folks. So that's great. So you can share it with your team if you want to. I assume that your student is doing that. He's sharing it with his team members.
Yep.
Is there automation tools that he's using that integrate?
No,
with
and he keeps
Evernote?
that's too complicated.
Just keeps it simple.
Yeah. Now, hey, I'm back on webcam now, so we're recording. Make sure you change your settings in Call Recorder if you haven't already.
Yes, I am switching over right now, my friend.
So that's the thing is, again, whatever you're using, if you're using Salesforce, Infusionsoft, FreedomSoft, Podio, whatever you're using, whether you're an investor or a realtor, good Lord, realtors have 5 times as many different options as investors do. But keep it simple for the love of all that's holy. Like, if you complicate your CRM too much, you're not going to use it. You just need a few simple fields, a few simple things to track. Again, name, phone number, email, address of the property, and notes. And the 6th thing would be tasks. Like, what's the next thing you have to do, or who's responsible for this lead? Every single lead has to have an open task with a due date assigned to somebody in the future. And if you could do that, you'll make more money, because you make your money by making offers, by giving listing presentations, by actually talking to people. You don't make money by making sure you have the perfect CRM that does all these fancy dancy things in it, that automate everything. That's nice to have, right? Like, once you're getting to a point where you're doing 5 deals a month or more, then you can start really building a fancy CRM that automates and does all of this stuff for you, where you click a button, it creates a contract, it emails the seller, it sets them up into an autoresponder, auto follow-up system, and all that stuff. That's important, but you don't need that when you're just getting started. And it's really good. I see so many people, Cory, getting so confused they give up because they're lost in all of this technology and stuff.
Well, hopefully with this show that we do simplify it a little bit for them, and you don't have to go all complicated and just keep it simple. But there are ways that you can use technology that actually will help you. It's not as confusing as you think it might be. So don't get too overwhelmed. And again, start somewhere. Just because it doesn't do everything you want it to do doesn't mean, one, that you can't create some of your own custom methodologies that you can use with it. It doesn't mean that there's not templates that already exist. I got to tell you what, I know you mentioned, how to use Evernote in YouTube, but, guys, gals, if you get to YouTube, if you type in how to whatever, you'll find some incredible instructional videos on many of the tools that you might think are confusing that you've asked about, that you'll see people walk you through how to use the very simplistic, the foundational pieces of some of these tools, including Evernote. So I love it. I love the fact that he's knocking out that many deals by using Evernote. He's got his own system, and I'm sure he's obviously customized a few things in there that we didn't discuss, but it's simple enough where he can go in, he can see all the properties that come in, he can see all the properties that need to be followed up with. So, keep it simple.
Yeah, I'm looking here at YouTube, and there's a bunch of really good videos right at the top on how to use Evernote as a CRM. Maybe
we could throw a few of those in the show notes.
Yeah, we'll just go to YouTube and do a search for how to use Evernote as a CRM, and we'll take a look. Some of these are 4 years old, 3 years old.
That's the thing. Yeah, look at the date.
Yeah, because Evernote's made some changes and updates since then, but there's a guy here that's got 8 months ago using Evernote as a CRM package.
Yes.
That would be good. And some of these names actually recognize people that I know who are in real estate. So this is interesting. But
one of the things that I think would be interesting is let us know. Let us know if you think that you'd like us to go in deeper with this. Maybe Joe, maybe there's a need for this. Maybe somebody would have a need to actually want to have all this done for them. Have all the templates ready for them. Have basically a mini product, if you will, that's just basically they could watch some videos on how to set up the buyer side, how to set up the seller side. If you want something like that, put that in the notes. Let us know if that's something that you think you'd like to have more of a deep dive into.
Yeah, I've thought about creating a simple course around that, Cory. We've talked about that,
yes,
because there's other tools like Trello. Maybe we could do an episode about that, but don't complicate it. Keep it simple. You'll make a lot of money in this business by keeping things simple. It's this guy, Rick. He's doing very, very well. Again, just uses Evernote. And let me say one more thing, too. Sometimes the best automation you can get is a good virtual assistant, a good VA or a local assistant, virtual assistant, somebody that can update this stuff for you. So you don't have to be the one typing in all these notes, right? You can just voice memo like with Voxer or WhatsApp, your voice memos to your assistant, to your VA, and your VA could be responsible for updating this stuff and reminding you of what needs to be done. Like, if you're a technophobe and you're like, oh, this is overwhelming, even what you've talked about has been confusing to me, just email the pictures of the house to your VA, and your VA can attach those pictures to the Evernote. Email the contract to your VA, and your VA can take that fax and put it into Evernote or your CRM for you.
Absolutely. One thing that I think is interesting here as we're kind of wrapping this up is people treat technology like it's their ugly stepchild. Okay? And it's not. It's something that can help you get more things accomplished if you allow yourself to change the way you think about not necessarily what it costs, but what can it do for me, right? And what's it worth for me? Well, we talked about this many times. Mm-hmm. And then also finding a way that you can start on something. You don't have to wait everything to be perfect. You can just start. And once you get involved in doing that thing, the momentum happens, right? Another part of Jim Collins' Good to Great is talking about the flywheel concept. The companies that went from good to great, right? They allowed this flywheel concept to happen, was the momentum. It took a little bit of time to just get going. They started, they inched forward. But once they did, man, I mean, do you know how hard it is to stop a flywheel? It's almost impossible, right? The momentum keeps going. And that can be your business. That can be how you use these technology tools to help you get more things accomplished.
Very good. Good stuff, man. Real good stuff. And you know what else I was thinking? We should do a podcast on Zoom.
That would be great.
Maybe we should record these podcasts on Zoom instead, because then we don't have to go around changing our recording settings when we switch between webcam and sharing screens.
All right, so I'm going to put that as one of our episode and why it's important. All right, so I'll put that down as one of our episodes in the mind map.
And Cory, we could broadcast our podcast live while we're recording it to Facebook.
I would love that. If we could do that, well, if we could record it while we're doing the live, that would be great. If we can do that on Zoom, I'm all in.
I've been using Zoom for a little bit, and I like it a lot. The quality of the video sometimes is better in Zoom than it is in Skype. So we'll check that out.
Yeah, let's check it out.
I just signed up for a premium account where you can now share it live on Facebook while you're talking and while we're recording.
I'm down. I'll do that today. If because there's other tools out there that I know that you can have to do it separately, and it takes so much bandwidth. Mm-hmm. So if Zoom has another way around that, I'll take a look at it.
So let's end this recording right now, guys. Go to realestatetechshow.com to get our fancy, really simple PDF of our top 10 favorite tools that we use in our real estate investing business. Go to realestatetechshow.com or just text the word tech, TECH, to 38470, 38470, and we'll get that over to you. Cool?
And leave a review.
Yes.
Please leave a review on the podcast. We really appreciate them, and they mean a lot. When we read every single one of them, even the ones that you talk about with Joe having the big old long macaw. We love those. So make sure you put all of those about Joe on there. He loves that.
No, you know what? You're going to get more reviews saying, please tell Cory, stop doing that. That's what the reviews are going to say.
All right. Till the next episode. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks again, Joe. Appreciate you.
See you guys. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to the Real Estate Tech Show with Cory and Joe. Make sure you download Cory and Joe's toolkit by going to realestatetechshow.com or texting the word tech to 38470. And don't forget to leave a review of this podcast on iTunes or Google Play and share it with your friends on your favorite social media platforms. We appreciate you listening.